Well, this was definitely not a Western Conference Final Series matchup that many people were expecting, though I think this is definitely going to be a really fun one to watch. It might not have the biggest superstars on each team, but I think the style of basketball these two teams play contrasts against each other that will make it a very interesting series and development from a game-to-game basis. I think Coach Malone did a great job in the Nuggets-Clippers series with making the correct adjustments to exploit the Clips, and I think he can give the Nuggets a legitimate shot to upset the Lakers if he does so again in this series. So, let's preview this round and go over each team's starting lineups and rotations, key matchups, and finally my prediction on which team will win. And very quickly before I start, if you want to see more interesting NBA content just like this, be sure to drop a like and subscribe, as I really appreciate our guys' support and really does go a long way into helping the channel grow. So for the Lakers starting lineup, I have LeBron James, KCP, Danny Green, Anthony Davis, and JaVale McGee. And off the bench, I have Rajon Rondo, Alex Caruso, Kyle Kuzma, Markieff Morris, and Dwight Howard. For the Nuggets starting lineup, I have Jamal Murray, Gary Harris, Jeremy Grant, Paul Millsap, and Nikola Jokic. And off the bench, I have Monte Morris, Torrey Craig, Michael Porter Jr., and Mason Plumlee. So to start off with the Lakers, I think they have a terrific matchup against Denver. Jokic has struggled with physical bigs in the past, and I think Davis and even McGee and Howard will make it tough for him in the paint. Whether it be both on offense and defense, the physicality of the Lakers bigs could make things harder for Jokic to either score in the paint, and they could also potentially get him into some foul trouble as well. We'll likely see McGee regain the starting spot against the Nuggets where he has a much better matchup compared to the Rockets series, and Jokic will have trouble stopping pick and roll alley-oops between LeBron and McGee, or LeBron and Davis. The play of the Lakers bigs will be the key for LA to get off to a good start and maintain control of the games, and they need to utilize this strength. Of course, LeBron should continue to get his, but he should have a pretty good defender on him in either Grant or Millsap, and I think Grant specifically did a terrific job in holding off Leonard in the previous series. This makes it even more important for the Lakers bigs to play well, and also they need their shooters like Green and KCP to continue to knock down their open threes. Off the bench, you're going to need Rondo to continue to be playoff Rondo and control the pace of the game when LeBron is out, and he did a terrific job last series doing just that. I think it will be really important for the Lakers bench to make sure they play well defensively, especially in regards to defending Michael Porter Jr. Porter Jr. can get hot in a hurry, and we're going to see if Kuzma's improved defense in the bubble will continue to be solid and hold off Porter Jr.'s heat checks. Speaking of Kuzma, he's also going to be critical in helping at least to offset Michael Porter Jr.'s offensive production off the bench, and he's really going to need to snap out of his cold streak in the playoffs. And finally, I think Howard will return to the rotation and have a good matchup against Mason Plumlee off the bench as the backup bigs. Howard can utilize his physicality to bully Plumlee in the paint, and his rim protection could definitely be useful when Davis and McGee are out of the game. Overall, I think this is looking great for Lakers at least on paper, and the previous regular season games paint a similar picture for LA. Now onto the Nuggets. As I said before, they don't really have a great matchup against the Lakers, but they have sure been surprising against the Clippers. This all starts with Jokic, and while I think he's going to struggle guarding the Lakers bigs, I think it's going to be very important for him to maintain his hot outside shooting. The paint will likely be much more closed off in the series for him, so he can utilize his perimeter game to drag out McGee, Howard, and Davis, who are all much less comfortable guarding out at the perimeter. Now, forcing the Lakers bigs to go out to the three-point line will help open up the paint for Murray and Harris to get to the rim and get some easy baskets. Murray's going to have tough defenders on him in either Green or KCP, but I think he should at least have a couple games where he just goes off for 25 plus points regardless. The Nuggets are going to have to make sure they capitalize on these nights by making sure they consistently play solid defense each and every game, and I think this will give them a good shot in the series. Also, we cannot forget about Paul Millsap, who I think is going to be very important in the series as well. He's been getting up there in age and has been very inconsistent in the playoffs this year, but his defense will be critical in guarding Anthony Davis. Millsap has solid size and the mobility to keep up with Davis out at the perimeter, and we'll see if he can step it up against the Lakers' second superstar and also knock down some open threes. For the Nuggets bench, we already talked about how good Porter Jr. can be in spurts, and we'll see if he can continue his great play against a tougher defensive team in the Lakers. In addition, I think a Monte Morris Rajon Rondo matchup will be very interesting to watch and something to definitely keep an eye out on. Morris has played very well in the playoffs as Murray's backup, as he's a steady playmaker who makes very few mistakes. He has over a 5-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio in the playoffs, and he keeps the Nuggets offense running when their stars are out, while still playing solid defense. Rondo is going to have a much tougher time scoring and making plays with Morris on him, as he's a much better overall player than Rajon's previous matchup against Austin Rivers. If Morris can continue to run the Nuggets offense smoothly while disrupting Rondo on defense as well, he could help give the Nuggets bench a boost and stall the Lakers' second unit offense. On a side note, as I touched upon before, I think Malone struggled in the first round matchup against the Jazz, but he really stepped it up and outcoached Doc Rivers against the Clippers. He's going to have to continue to make great in-game adjustments like he did in his previous matchup, and I think this will certainly be key in making sure the Nuggets can continue to have the chance to make crazy comebacks if they do go down by a significant amount in the game. Overall, I think this is going to be a really fun matchup to watch, as LeBron and AD get to see if they can get another quick series win against Jokic and the Nuggets. While many people may have the Nuggets taking the series easily based on the matchup on paper, I think Jokic will initially have trouble against the Lakers' big lineup, but then find a way to give himself a huge advantage by making plays out at the perimeter. Along with a few big games by Murray and some of the Nuggets' role players stepping up as well, I think the Nuggets will go down early in the series but then eventually make a comeback. However, I think the Lakers just have that leadership and team chemistry to push them ahead of the Nuggets, which is something the Clippers didn't have, and I'll take the Lakers winning the series in a competitive and fun 6 games. But I'll give the Nuggets a shot for sure in potentially winning the series, given they've been able to come back from down 3-1 against what seem to be better teams, though even if they do lose the series, they've got to be happy and proud of what they've accomplished in the bubble and their future outlook. So that's a wrap. Thank you guys all for watching. If you guys did enjoy this video and want to see more daily NBA content just like this, be sure to drop a like and subscribe, and also be sure to turn on post notifications so you can stay updated on when my newest video will be coming out. Also, be sure to follow me on Instagram and hit me up if you want to talk about basketball or business. Just drop a comment down below on my photo or DM me and I'll definitely try to get back to most of you guys there. Drop a comment down below on who you have winning the series. Do you have the Lakers or the Nuggets, and in how many games? Let me know as I do our comments. I'm definitely interested to see what you guys have to say here as well. So with all that being said, once again, thank you guys all for watching, and hopefully I will see you in the next video. Peace.